This is WION World is One. This is your prime time, and you are watching Gravitas.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You are watching Gravitas. I'm Molly Gambhir. Let's get started. On the show for you tonight, we have a very special lineup. First up, we focus on how Saudi Arabia wants an international coalition now to protect shipping in the Red Sea from the Houthi attacks. Who all will be a part of it? It's a major turning point. What happens next? We tell you all about the already expanding conflict and the implications of these developments. Also on the show for you tonight, Vladimir Putin mobilizing 500,000 more Russian forces. Is this going to be changing the course of the Russia-Ukraine war? According to the US Space Force, China's military now has access to more than 500 intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance satellites. We tell you why this matters. The Israeli Prime Minister appears to have narrowed the gap with his main challenger in the race for public support. We tell you how. Red Cross declares crisis over blood supply shortage in the US for the second time in its history. All this and a lot more coming up. Is this going to be the start of a world war against Iran and its allies? West Asia at this point standing at a very crucial juncture. Saudi Arabia wants an international coalition to do what? Essentially to protect shipping in the Red Sea from the Houthi attacks. The immediate question is, who all will be a part of it and what happens next? Let's explain this to you. According to a Reuters report, Saudi Arabia is seeking to build an international coalition to protect shipping in the Red Sea from the Houthi attacks. And according to the report, the composition of the coalition has not yet been finalized and is reportedly being discussed with dozens of countries. Dozens of countries. Let's just get you some context here first. How exactly did things even reach this point? The Iran-allied Houthis on the 20th of July, remember, said that they would be imposing a naval blockade on Saudi Arabia in the Red Sea in response to what they described as a Saudi siege on Yemen, an allegation that Riyadh has denied. And since then, the Houthis said they have launched attacks on Saudi vessels in the Red Sea. Saudi Arabia, meanwhile, reportedly has responded with airstrikes on what it said were Houthi military facilities at Yemen's port, used allegedly to threaten commercial shipping, according to it. In fact, the blockade has opened a whole new front against the United States and its allies in the wider Iran war, expanding attacks on tankers carrying energy and other supplies to waters beyond the Gulf and also pushing the oil prices higher. Marking a whole new turning point, Saudi Arabia and the US also jointly struck Iran-backed armed groups in Iraq. Why? Reportedly in retaliation for drone attacks on Saudi oil targets launched from Iraq. Why is this significant? The joint US-Saudi attacks marked the first time Riyadh has publicly joined strikes alongside Washington. And this could essentially widen the conflict further by drawing Sunni Muslim Saudi Arabia into combat against Shiite proxies on a new front. The Shiite proxies of Iran on a new front. And with Saudi Arabia planning this coalition against Iran and its allies, it marks a major escalation. Earlier, Iraq's Popular Mobilization Forces said at least 20 members were killed, 32 injured in the US-Saudi strikes, targeting several bases across Iraq. Earlier, Iraqi men shouted slogans chanting "Death to America" as they carried the bodies of those killed. Remember, these militias wield enormous power in Iraq, both political and military power. The Shiite groups came up as Tehran steadily entrenched itself in Iraqi politics and security matters after the US-led invasion of Iraq toppled Saddam Hussein in 2003. The militias, with Iranian financial and military support, have become formidable forces, and they are reportedly part of the Islamic resistance in Iraq, an umbrella group of about 10 hardline Shiite armed factions that collectively command about 50,000 fighters and arsenals. The resistance group, in fact, is a key pillar of Iran's network of regional proxy forces. What's been the immediate fallout of those strikes on these groups? Apart from Saudi Arabia's latest move of that coalition, among the direct consequences seen already has been the Iraqi Prime Minister, who recently met Trump, calling off a planned meeting with Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince in Jeddah on Thursday in the wake of the strikes. Earlier, the Iraqi presidency denounced the strikes on the paramilitaries as an unacceptable attack and a flagrant violation of Iraq's sovereignty, while also calling for a halt to attacks by armed groups against Iraq's neighbors. Remember, for Iraq, this is also a tough balancing act. There has been mounting US pressure to rein in these armed groups, and confronting them directly, for example, could lead to internal unrest. And the governments there have tried to maintain a delicate balance between the US, which invaded the Shia majority country in 2003, and Iran, which has long sought to exert influence there and has backed those powerful militias. In fact, the conflict has already been expanding. Let's just lay it out for you. A drone strike on gas vessels in Egypt's Mediterranean port signaled a potential new front in the US-Iran war, raising the prospect of the threats to navigation through the Suez Canal, a last remaining safe export route for Saudi oil. In fact, the Egyptian cabinet also said on Thursday that an initial investigation showed that an unidentified drone caused a fire on Wednesday on 2 vessels at the port near the Suez Canal, which links the Mediterranean with the Red Sea, as you can see. So the conflict already spreading. That's the port that we are talking about where the attack took place, and that's the Suez Canal, and that's the Red Sea here. In fact, no group has claimed responsibility, according to the cabinet reportedly. And overnight, the US military also said it struck Iran's Revolutionary Guards, military command centers, drone facilities after Tehran fired at the US forces in the region. In fact, the IRGC saying they struck US-run base in Jordan in response to the US strikes. Jordan's armed forces said earlier on Thursday they intercepted 5 Iranian missiles. An Iranian attack reportedly also hit a building owned by a Chinese company in northern Kuwait, killing a worker and inflicting significant damage. And according to Kuwait's defense ministry, the latest strikes in Iraq and Egypt threaten to draw more West Asian countries into the conflict after the Iran-aligned Houthis in Yemen last week declared that naval blockade on Saudi Arabia. The US strikes in Iran on Wednesday also followed President Trump's vow earlier to retaliate against Iran for firing on US forces. Iran confirmed, meanwhile, overnight that it had fired on US bases in Jordan and at ships in the Strait of Hormuz. So that's what things have overall been looking like in the region, with far-reaching implications, that conflict already expanding. In fact, already the Russia-Ukraine and Iran wars battle lines seem to be emerging, with that dangerous overlap seemingly shaping up after Iran earlier accused Ukraine of attacking an Iranian vessel in the Caspian Sea, on Israel's behest, allegedly. That's what it claimed. Washington also has been warning of further action against the Iran-backed groups. But can America really afford an unending conflict and continuing attacks? This is not just about the depleting patience, in a way, of some Americans as far as the war is concerned. America's depleting weapons stockpile has been a major concern as well. As conflicts in Iran and Ukraine strain U.S. weapon stockpiles, the Pentagon has said the U.S. Army awarded Lockheed Martin a contract worth up to $58.6 billion to produce Patriot interceptor missiles. More weapons, more money, amid the already mounting costs. According to a Reuters report, U.S. officials have reportedly privately cautioned that resuming major combat operations against Iran would carry risk, given the negative impact on stocks of munitions. In fact, the Center for Strategic and International Studies, a Washington-based think tank, reportedly estimated this week that the U.S. military has fewer than 1,000 Patriot interceptor missiles and fewer than 250 THAAD interceptors, two key air defense systems. Remember, the U.S. has supplied large quantities of weapons to allies while also using munitions in its own military operations in Iran, raising concerns about inventories of key air defense and precision-guided weapons. And as the conflict expands, the tensions have ripple effects. They have been shooting to dangerous levels with each passing day. The latest developments could drag West Asia deeper into uncertainty and so-called uncharted territory, sending the region perhaps hurtling towards a point of no return. An unpredictable conflict could mean more volatility in store for a region where the flames of uncertainty have already spread far and wide. Shifting focus to another special report. The world's most powerful warships are built to survive missile attacks, but China is developing weapons designed to make that defense harder. And now a new video appears to show one of Beijing's most dangerous anti-ship missiles being launched from a Chinese warship. And if this weapon can actually do what China claims, US aircraft carriers could face a whole new and serious threat in the Pacific. Our next report breaking this down for you.
For decades, American aircraft carriers have been the ultimate symbol of military power. A floating airbase. Protected by destroyers, cruisers, fighter jets, and layers of missile defenses. But China is building a force designed to challenge that advantage. Now, the ocean is no longer a safe haven for American warships. China's navy is growing in size and capability. Its missiles are faster, smarter, and more lethal. The US carrier strike groups, once untouchable, now operate under a shadow. Beijing has released a glimpse of the weapon at the center of that strategy. Chinese state media has released a video showing a type destroyer launching the YJ-20 hypersonic anti-ship missile. It is a brief clip, but the message is clear. China's navy is not just building more warships, it is pairing them with weapons designed to attack high-value targets at sea. Also known as the Eagle Strike 20, the YJ-20 equipped with Boost Glide flight system. The YJ-20, with its remarkable range, hypersonic speed and near invulnerability to interception, could sink an aircraft carrier with a single hit. Hypersonic weapons travel at speeds above Mach 5 and can maneuver during flight, making them harder to track and intercept. That creates a major problem for aircraft carriers. A carrier strike group does not sail alone. It's surrounded by layers of protection. Destroyers and cruisers carry advanced radars and interceptor missiles. And above it, fighter aircraft patrol the skies. Electronic warfare systems can also disrupt incoming threats, but hypersonic missiles can compress the reaction time. Beijing has even built full-scale replicas of US warships for military training and missile target practice. The message is hard to miss. China is practicing for a war in which American naval power could be the main target. And this latest video gives the world a rare look at the weapon itself. The YJ-20 was publicly displayed earlier during China's military parade in Beijing in September 2025, alongside other advanced weapons. China's navy is growing, its missiles are getting faster, and the distance between Beijing's weapons and America's aircraft carriers is becoming the central question of any future conflict in the Pacific. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
Let's now shift focus to Israel, what's happening there. The country, remember, is heading to a national election on the 27th of October. It will be the first there since the October 7, 2023 Hamas attack that transformed not just the country, but also West Asia's political and security landscape. And with less than 3 months to go, roughly, the Israeli Prime Minister appears to have narrowed the gap with his main challenger in the race for public support, very interestingly. In fact, a new Channel 12 television poll showing Netanyahu and former Israel Defense Forces chief tied with 38% of respondents saying that they would prefer each of them to lead the country. 38%. And the result marking a significant turnaround as well for Netanyahu. Earlier this month, remember, the same broadcaster found his rival leading with 43% support as compared to Netanyahu's 34%. So that's what the numbers look like back then. Israel does not directly elect its prime minister. Remember, voters choose members of the 120-seat parliament, and the leader most likely to form a governing coalition becomes the prime minister. That's what the process is like. The poll projects the anti-Netanyahu bloc, excluding Arab parties, at 60 seats, just one short of the 61 required for majority. Netanyahu's bloc is projected to win 50 seats, while Arab parties are expected to secure the remaining 10. The survey also projecting Eisenko's Yashar party as the largest in parliament, with 23 seats, followed closely by Netanyahu's party with 22. And when asked what would shape their vote, 32% of the respondents identified Israel's handling of the multi-front war as their top concern, while 25% pointed to the cost of living and the economy. Even as Israel prepares for a political future, both Gazans and Israelis continue to reel with the impact of the war. According to the Palestinian health officials, in fact, Israeli strikes killed at least 4 people, including 2 children in the Gaza Strip on Thursday. Officials say more than 16 others were also injured in 2 Israeli airstrikes in Gaza City and the Khan Yunis area. The Israeli military, in fact, says it targeted 2 military operatives in Khan Yunis. People could be seen gathered outside a hospital mourning loved ones killed in the alleged Israeli fire.
حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل.
According to the Gaza Health Ministry, meanwhile, more than 1,200 Palestinians have been killed since the October ceasefire took effect, the October 2025 ceasefire. While the ministry says the overall death toll in Gaza since October 2023 has crossed 73,000. Israel is also facing growing concern over the mental health of its armed forces, in fact. Israeli newspaper Haaretz reporting that 2 female active duty soldiers died by suicide over the past 2 days, taking the number of active duty military suicides this year to at least 16. And the report says the annual total rose from 7 in the final months of 2023 to 21 in 2024 and 22 in 2025, the highest level in 15 years, with several cases linked to combat service and the post-traumatic stress disorder associated with it during the Gaza war. On to a Gravitas special report for you. China's ambitions in space are increasingly becoming a military concern for America. Why? According to a Wall Street Journal report, US officials say Beijing is rapidly narrowing America's long-standing advantage in orbit by building one of the world's largest surveillance satellite networks. Let's break it down. According to the US Space Force, China's military now has access to more than 510 intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance satellites, giving it an unprecedented ability to monitor military activity across the Indo-Pacific. In fact, the Pentagon says these expanding satellite constellations have significantly strengthened China's ability to track US and allied forces and support long-range precision strikes. Analysts say Beijing has also upgraded its navigation system and remote sensing technology, allowing satellites to capture high-resolution imagery day and night, even through cloud cover. Experts say artificial intelligence can quickly analyze this imagery, helping China's military identify and track targets with greater speed and accuracy. The US-China Economic and Security Review Commission says China's expanding space capabilities have improved its ability to coordinate military operations while maintaining persistent surveillance of the US forces. A 2024 CSIS-led report ranked Chinese commercial remote sensing systems among the world's top performers in 5 of 11 technology categories. The Pentagon also saying Beijing is building large constellations of low Earth orbit communication satellites to make its military networks more resilient in the event of a conflict. The US Space Force has gone a step further, warning that China is developing counter-space capabilities that could disable or disrupt enemy satellites. While the US Defense Intelligence Agency assesses that Beijing is pursuing anti-satellite weapons capable of striking targets as far as nearly 36,000 kilometers above Earth. The US State Department also accused Chinese companies of supplying satellite imagery that could support Iranian military operations in West Asia, very significant. As China rapidly expands its military presence in space, Washington faces growing pressure to protect its technological edge in what many experts now see as the next decisive area of strategic competition. Time now to get you the global headlines coming in at this hour, taking you around the world in 120 seconds.
German Chancellor Friedrich Merz says that the suspected Russian missile which crashed in eastern Poland shows Russia's recklessness and readiness to escalate. According to reports, Hamas is progressing towards a deal involving the decommissioning of its weapons in the ongoing talks with mediators in Cairo. Reports added, however, that they were still in the process of making amendments to the proposal. Dozens of migrants enter the Spanish North African exclave of Ceuta by sea. Many are seen swimming to shore, running on the beach, and some celebrate as they arrive on land and make their way into town. A house in Pakistan's eastern city of Lahore collapsed during heavy monsoon rains, killing 11 people and injuring 6 more. All of the victims belong to the same family. Japanese emergency workers searched tirelessly for survivors at a wrecked shopping mall as the death toll from a major earthquake hit 34 and tens of thousands were left without power in punishing heat. US sees lower than expected growth in the second quarter of this year, with the gross domestic product of the world's largest economy growing at a sluggish annualized rate of 1.5%. A giant panda has been captured on infrared camera at an altitude of over 13,500 feet for the first time in southwest China's Sichuan province, marking a rare sighting of the species in a high-altitude rocky zone where snow leopards are known to roam.
Shifting focus now to India. In a big development from West Bengal, former government bus driver, a relative of stone trader Tulu Mondal, was arrested after a mountain of cash was seized from his home allegedly. The controversy deepened as Tulu Mondal is allegedly a close associate of TMC's Birbhum district president. The quantum of recovery cannot be understated. Police reportedly seized a staggering 28.5 crore rupees in cash and gold bars worth 15 kilograms from Minar Mondal's house during that raid. But what led to this raid in the first place? What was the trigger? A group of suspected robbers who were arrested earlier revealed during investigation that a vast amount of cash and gold was stockpiled at Minar Mondal's house.
Police recovered so far 28.5 crore approximate cash and 15 kg of different size of gold bar of different denomination. All legal formalities under BNS and BNSS are being done, and the legal process in the form of registration of FIR being done.
And visuals from the spot showed huge police presence. They were seen carrying huge boxes of the seized cash and gold from the accused residents. The dramatic rise of Tulu Mondal in Birbhum has also come into focus in wake of this huge cash haul. He reportedly used to work as a daily wage laborer in stone quarries over 2 decades ago. Later, he got involved reportedly in the transport sector and became a contractor in Birbhum. Soon, allegations surfaced that he established control over the entire supply chain from quarries to crushers and from in fact, in December 2024, his daughter's extravagant wedding also became the talk of the town, with Bollywood as well as Tollywood celebrities attending that event. Now, this is not the first time his name has been embroiled in a controversy. In 2022 as well, Tulu Mondal was arrested in connection with a murder case. He was also questioned by central investigative agencies in connection with a cattle smuggling case. Subsequently, he was investigated in other cases pertaining to stone trade. Meanwhile, in Jharkhand, the Enforcement Directorate carried out one of its biggest crackdowns on the illegal coal mining network during searches at 31 locations linked to coal traders and contractors in Jharkhand's Dhanbad. The agency froze investment in mutual funds worth 160 crore rupees and seized unaccounted cash amounting to over 1 crore rupees. It's worth noting here that the ED raided many locations in connection with this case in November last year as well. And during these raids, ED reportedly seized 2.2 crore in cash, 120 land-related documents, jewelry, and now the highest ever cash seizure by any probe agency in the country, reportedly dating back to December 2023. Nearly 351 crore rupees in cash were recovered by the Income Tax Department during searches conducted at premises allegedly linked to the then Congress Rajya Sabha MP Dheeraj Prasad. That's not even all. Back in 2021, raids on a businessman Piyush Jain left the entire country stunned. According to reports, officials seized nearly 196 crore rupees in cash from his house. So let's also focus on what the legal framework is in India for offences pertaining to alleged unaccounted wealth. Such alleged crimes usually attract the provisions of the Stringent Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Under this law, all offences are non-bailable. And if convicted in this case, a person is sentenced to rigorous imprisonment and a fine. And as far as the jail term for this offence is concerned, it ranges from 3 to 7 years. While the investigation is still underway, the West Bengal cash haul also raises serious questions about the alleged nexus between politics, business, and alleged crime. And the centre's response in Parliament to a question on teacher vacancies has also revealed a stunning figure. Over 1 lakh schools across India are functioning with just one teacher. One teacher. According to figures provided by the Union Minister of State for Education, a total of 108,043 schools in India have just one teacher. It's a whopping number. Andhra Pradesh is the worst performer with 16,357 such schools. Jharkhand follows next with 9,287 such schools. Maharashtra, third on the list, with over 9,200 such schools. Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh are also the other worst performers on that list. On the other hand, Andaman and Nicobar Islands has only one single teacher school. In fact, it's followed by Delhi, which has 7, Ladakh 28, Sikkim 31, Nagaland 35, Kerala 67. The minister also shared data on the average teacher-pupil ratio across the country. According to the minister's reply, national pupil-teacher ratio stood at 19 at the primary level, 17 at upper primary, 15 at secondary, and 23 at the higher secondary level. However, the single teacher school data also indicates that favorable national averages continue to conceal sharp local imbalances when it comes to teacher availability. And it's a huge concern. Elon Musk's AI company, XAI, has sued the US state of Minnesota, reportedly challenging a landmark law that would basically make it the first state to ban AI nudification tools on websites and apps. The lawsuit reportedly was filed just days before the law is due to take effect. The legislation would basically hold AI platform operators liable for allowing users to create fake nude images of real people using AI. XAI reportedly said it supports banning the non-consensual distribution of AI-generated nudes, but reportedly argues that Minnesota's law goes too far. The company said the law could restrict constitutionally protected content and impose fines of up to $500,000 for each violation. XAI also reportedly argued that the law does not provide a safe harbor for companies that make good faith efforts to prevent abuse. It said the legislation could even apply to images created or approved by the person depicted. Minnesota Attorney General defended the law, saying AI-generated nude images created without consent cause serious personal, emotional, and professional harm. The case could become an important test as well of how far the US states can actually go when it comes to regulating AI under constitutional free speech protections. XAI said Grok's terms of service already prohibit users from creating non-consensual nude or sexually explicit images of real people. The company said it enforces those rules through account suspensions and has introduced geo-blocking and other safeguards to restrict such content where required by law. And before we go on any further, a quick look at what else is lined up for you on the show tonight. Amid Europe's raging wildfires, we tell you how a whole new danger could be lurking around nuclear sites and missile plants. A new study has identified a previously unknown substance that appears to have formed during the Hiroshima explosion. Can limiting sugar before age 2 reduce dementia risk later? We tell you what a study says. All this and a lot more coming up. On to a special report. Ukraine is under another massive Russian aerial assault. Missiles, drones raining down as explosions tear through several parts. At least 9 people dead, more than 50 have been injured. And now President Zelensky is warning that the Kremlin could be preparing to throw another 5 lakh troops into the war. A fresh wave of strikes, a possible mass mobilization. Is Russia also preparing for a decisive new phase? Our next report telling you more.
The night sky over Ukraine is lit up by explosions. Missiles strike across the darkness. Drones swarm towards their targets. Air defense systems roar into action as cities brace for another deadly Russian attack. The latest barrage has once again pushed the war into a dangerous new phase. Russia has launched a mass aerial assault using a combination of missiles and drones hitting targets across Ukraine. Kyiv says Russia launched 74 missiles, 284 drones at Ukraine. Capital Kyiv was among the cities targeted. Kyiv residents crowded into an underground metro station to take shelter.
They should withdraw their troops and the war will end. We're defending ourselves. I'm from Zaporizhia and it's very difficult there right now. My parents are still there and we're in touch. They're hiding as well at this very moment.
A Russian strike hit residential buildings in the western Ukrainian city of Lviv. Residents watched as emergency crews searched through rubble and climbed ladders to extinguish fires.
I was terrified watching the rescuers go beneath those concrete slabs. I'm very proud of them. I'm proud that we have rescuers who aren't afraid to go into situations where those slabs could collapse on them. I'm proud that we have such brave men. That's all.
NATO and European leaders openly blamed Russia for firing a missile that blasted a 33-foot crater inside Polish territory during its latest mass attack on Ukraine. Ukraine has been under relentless pressure from the air, but Kyiv is also striking back. Ukrainian forces have stepped up attacks against targets inside Russia, using long-range drones to hit military and strategic infrastructure. The battlefield is becoming increasingly defined by long-range strikes. President Volodymyr Zelensky is warning that something much bigger could be coming. He fears that Russia could mobilize up to 500,000 additional troops. Such a mobilization would dramatically increase Moscow's ability to sustain and expand its offensive operations. A larger force could allow Moscow to rotate exhausted units, reinforce existing fronts, and potentially open new areas of attack. And that is exactly what Ukraine fears. The concern is that Russia could combine manpower with its growing missile and drone campaign. One attack from the air, another from the ground, and potentially hundreds of thousands of additional soldiers behind it. For Ukraine, this is a race against time. Kyiv is trying to strengthen its air defenses, replenish ammunition, and maintain its long-range strike campaign.
Europe is burning through another brutal heat wave. The flames have been moving closer to sites that cannot afford to be exposed. It's a real danger. From France to Britain, wildfires reportedly have reached close to areas near nuclear facilities, missile production sites, and the factories that build Europe's advanced fighter jets. Extreme heat and fire now, in a way, testing Europe's critical infrastructure. Take a look.
France and Spain are fighting huge wildfires. Thick smoke fills the skies. Flames race through dry forests. Entire communities are being evacuated as firefighters battle fires fueled by heat, drought, and strong winds. France has been battling some of the country's worst forest fires in living memory.
It's Thursday morning here in the Cap, and firefighters are setting controlled burns, and they're doing their best effort to take away fuel from the forest floor to keep the fire from attacking areas of importance. And they walk through the forest with a combustible liquid, spraying it on the forest floor to ignite small flames, stuff that they can handle if it grows. This is the type of fires they want to slowly burn and to burn off all the fuel to help keep the larger areas safe. And you see behind me the smoke and the slow burning flames in the forest floor.
In Spain, raging inferno forced the evacuations of tens of thousands of people. The ongoing heat wave threatens a resurgence of fire in the Madrid region.
We're scared for the restaurant, for the village, the campsite, scared for everything here, and all the people who have had to be evacuated from the villages, especially our elderly residents. It's just a feeling of helplessness, anxiety, I don't know.
And in Greece, the fight has turned deadly. 3 firefighters have died while battling wildfires as the flames spread across parts of the country. Now, the crisis is moving closer to something far more sensitive. Europe's strategic military infrastructure. In southwest France, wildfires near Bordeaux have threatened a cluster of defense and aerospace facilities. One of them is linked to the M51 nuclear missile program, France's submarine-launched ballistic missile system. Another is connected to the production of the Rafale fighter jet. A third facility makes solid rocket motors used in missiles. The fires came close enough for sensitive equipment to be moved from one aviation site to safer locations. France's Atomic Energy Commission also closed a military nuclear research site near Bordeaux as a precaution. In Britain, a major wildfire near Sizewell B nuclear power station triggered evacuations in the surrounding area, bringing another critical facility into the spotlight. The danger is not just the flames. It is the combination of extreme heat, dry vegetation, and powerful winds. The European Union is now warning that the wildfire threat is shifting eastwards, with Greece, Italy, and parts of Central Europe facing growing risks. The numbers show why. More than 1 million hectares burned across the European Union in 2025, and Europe is preparing for another difficult summer. The EU has deployed hundreds of firefighters and aircraft to high-risk regions.
La difficulté maintenant, c'est que ce qui a brûlé, dans le brûlé, il y a des végétaux.
The difficulty now is that in the burnt area, there are very small plants that have burnt completely and others of medium or large size, such as stumps, which are still burning or could potentially flare up again because of the wind and the heat stored in the ground. So at this stage, it's a painstaking, meticulous job that needs to be done.
But this is becoming a bigger question than firefighting. Europe's forests are drying, heat waves are becoming more intense, and wildfires are reaching closer to cities, industries, and strategic sites. From nuclear deterrence to fighter jets and missile production, the flames are now testing the resilience of Europe's critical infrastructure. The fire may eventually be contained, but the warning is already spreading. Europe is not just fighting wildfires. It is preparing for a future where extreme heat can threaten almost anything in its path. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
Years after the Hiroshima atomic bombing, one of history's darkest moments, revealing a startling scientific secret. Researchers say the devastating blast created a completely new kind of metal, something never seen before. A new study published in Science Advances has identified a previously unknown silicon-rich alloy that appears to have formed during the Hiroshima explosion. And scientists say the alloy contains a unique mix of iron, nickel, silicon, aluminium, and several other metallic elements, making it a rare multi-component crystalline material. Here's how this happened. When the atomic bomb exploded, this was the 6th of August, 1945, remember, it generated a fireball hotter than 7,000 degrees Celsius. The intense heat vaporized buildings, soil, glass, metal, water, turning it into a massive cloud of plasma. According to scientists, as the fireball cooled, tiny molten metal droplets fell across the city. Inside one of these microscopic particles, researchers discovered the extraordinary alloy. Instead of simply melting existing materials, the nuclear blast actually forged an entirely new, highly ordered crystal structure. The scientists say such alloys could possess exceptional strength, heat resistance, durability, offering valuable and rare insights into advanced material science. And the researchers also saying that studying these rare remnants could actually deepen our understanding of both the Hiroshima tragedy and the extreme chemical processes that only the most powerful events on our planet can actually create. Onto a special story. Dementia remains a major health issue, with an estimated 57 million people impacted by it world over. A new research has now thrown light on how limited sugar intake in children can actually help cut the risk of developing dementia later in life. What's the link, really? Let's tell you more about this study. It was published in Neurology Journal. It was conducted by researchers from the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. According to this research, stopping children under the age of 2 from having sugar can have lasting effects on their brain health. Let's just break this down further. For this study, researchers looked at data of over 64,000 people born in the UK before and after World War II. When the rationing of sugar took place, the participants were grouped by those who experienced sugar rationing before birth and during their first year, second year, and those born after sugar rationing ended in 1953. After adjusting for health factors like high blood pressure, diabetes, the study found that those people who experienced sugar rationing up to the first year of their life had a 21% lower risk of dementia as compared to people born in the post-sugar rationing era, basically. Additionally, those who experienced it in the first 2 years of their life had a 23% lower risk of dementia. In some cases, dementia was delayed by an average of 2.6 years in people who consume lower sugar levels early in life. And there is a caveat though. Experts have cautioned that this is an observational study which does not necessarily prove that eating less sugar directly prevents dementia. However, it's never late to make positive changes to your diet to boost your health and do whatever you can. In Rio, Brazil, discarded human hair is being used to clear oil spills as the bay there faces serious depletion of marine life. An innovative solution has come forth that involves bundling of hair to form sausage-like filter tubes to absorb the oil there. 10 participating hair salons in Rio collect the leftover hair clippings from clients and then provide it to the environmental researchers. They fill sausage-shaped fabric tubes with these diverse hair types to create specialized filters that are then placed strategically across the bay in Rio de Janeiro. These tubes are attached to existing floating orange trash barriers to prevent pollution from actually entering local mangroves. The barriers can remain effective in the sea for up to 4 months, combating ongoing pollution from boats and illegal dumping as well. Absorbing enormous amounts of oil, each gram of hair, in fact, can absorb 5 grams of oil, offering a sustainable new tool against severe marine pollution as well.
The idea is the oil that flows here be absorbed by that hair barrier, so they are attached to the orange rubbish barrier, which floats, and we use it as support for the Fiotra barrier.
We use hairs of different formats of different kinds of people, and we can make these filters, which is the application you just saw placed in Guanabara Bay, preventively to filter out oil, biodiesel, and other substances that pollute the water.
Heavy shipping traffic and boat activity have long plagued the bay with oil spills and garbage. Traditional fishing communities suffer. Oil spills damage marine life up to 1.5 meters below the surface, causing fish populations to plummet in the water body. Out of Rio's 20 native crab species, only 7 survive in the heavily polluted mangroves.
Generally, oil can have the effect of waterproofing the gills, which can suffocate and kill the animal, and it can have other physiological effects on the animal's body and organs in general.
Time now to take you to Mexico for one of the most powerful images of the day, where a new Guinness World Record has been set for the world's largest serving of sandwiches, arranged in a continuous line. Look at that. The sandwich layered with breads, meats, sauces, other ingredients, stretching over 100 meters and weighing more than 1.5 metric tons. Let's now put the spotlight on a big question hanging in the air, the answer to which determines a lot. The new US sanctions bill, which basically allows Trump to levy tariffs of up to 100% on imports from countries buying Russian oil and gas. It is inching closer to a final vote in the Senate. And this raises a crucial question. Could this new bill affect the India-US strategic and trade ties in the coming months? And let's now tell you about 3 major events that could shape headlines around the world over the next 24 hours. Japan's new National Intelligence Bureau will be launched on Friday as the country ramps up counter-espionage moves amid growing overseas threats. The result of the election for the mayor of Greater Manchester will be declared on Friday. The by-election was triggered by former Mayor Andy Burnham winning a parliamentary by-poll and becoming the Prime Minister of the UK. In Zimbabwe, opposition parties and civil society groups are set to participate in a massive nationwide protest on Friday against recently passed constitutional amendments extending the president's term by 2 years. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Gravitas Tonight. This is me, Molly Gambhir, signing off. Thanks very much for watching.
In this rapidly changing world, is your health keeping pace? Best practices and breakthroughs busting the hype with real insights. The timeless power of yoga and ancient healing. Good food, good mood. Small steps, big impact. Your health matters. Only on WION World is One. Because nothing matters more.
WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION, World is One.
In-depth coverage of global issues broken down into facts, figures, and simple words. Backed with analysis from field experts who truly matter, because we believe in decoding the real picture for you. So you get a much wider and deeper understanding of stories from around the world, a 360-degree analysis. An award-winning documentary series, week after week creating the maximum impact. Watch WION Wide Angle at these times on WION, World is One.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street to the vibrant exchanges of Asian stock markets, WION breaks it down for you to make sense of what's happening. As we reveal the key factors behind events, strategic battles, and the game-changing business decisions that shape the world. We bring you all of this and more on World Business Watch.
The Israeli drone is above our heads all the time in Lebanon. More than 200,000 civilian homes have been destroyed. This looks like it used to be a toy for a little girl. Can't but wonder while I'm walking between all of this rubble, how many lives were destroyed, how many kids were traumatized, how many women lost their families. If this isn't a war crime, then what is? From the southern suburb of Beirut, I'm Redi Francis for WION, World is One.
WION, India's global voice, the channel that brings you the biggest stories from across the world through India's lens. Now available in more than 190 countries worldwide. Because we believe that the world is one. Watch us in Africa, Europe, USA and Canada, South America, Asia Pacific, Middle East and North African regions. Also available on these digital platforms across the world. WION, World is One.
Vielleicht nur